Good morning and Happy New Year. I just wanted to take a minute and show you my Bible marking system and what I got out of Matthew chapter 1 on January 1st. We have the genealogy of the birth of Christ from Abraham to Jesus' birth, and I highlighted in this genealogy the women because it's mostly men. We have Tamar. And if you know her story, she actually pretended to be a prostitute and had the child by her father-in-law, and he didn't know, but there's a whole reason for that. And then Rahab, she was a foreign woman, a Canaanite, who helped rescue, hid the spies. And then it was just 2-3 generations later is David. I highlighted him, and his grandmother was Ruth. And she was a Moabite woman, but she was righteous, and the book of the Bible was written about her. And then I highlighted the other woman, Bathsheba, and that was adultery by where David had Solomon. So it's interesting that these people are in the genealogy of Christ, including these women who are highlighted when other women are not necessarily. I mean, we do hear a lot about Sarah and Rebecca and Rachel in the books of Genesis, but they are not necessarily listed in the genealogy. And then on my Bible marking system, I did go to a timeline to see, since it says 14 generations from Abraham to David, and then David to the Babylon deportation. And I do have that we have about 2000 BC, maybe more is Abraham, about 1000 BC is David, 586 BC is the fall of Jerusalem, so that would have been part of the Babylon deportation, though I think it started a little bit before that. And Jesus Christ is born, I've heard, about 3 AD. Here's some characteristics of Joseph that I list in the column, that he was of the line of David, he was righteous, and he did not want to disgrace Mary, but send her away quietly, but he did as the angel said. The angel of the Lord came to him as in a dream, and he also kept Mary a virgin until after the birth. And I marked Joseph's name, though he's not going to play a prominent part in Matthew. But I have a marking for Jesus, for God. I have this gold things that show something about God. So he was conceived, that was to fulfill a prophecy. He will save his people from their sins. And I mark prophecy there in pink. I mark angel in orange, these orange lines coming down as the messenger of God. I have a little marking symbol for Mary. We also learned that Emmanuel means God with us. And I wrote in the margin the word name because there's a significance I know in the Bible about the names. This is what you shall name Jesus. We learned 2 things about the name of Jesus, that he will save them from their sins, but also he is Emmanuel, which is God with us. And my life lesson that I put out here, and I also wrote in my journal what Matthew 1 is about and what it tells me, is that a righteous person may have reason to be quiet about the sins of others and not need to publicly disgrace others, but they still don't participate in their sins. So Joseph, without the revelation from the angel of the Lord, he could not take Mary as his wife, but also he did not want to publicly disgrace her. So that shows a special insight into righteousness, different from maybe the righteousness that we will see of the Pharisees that was false.